This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
Hey, it's like we've forgotten how to be free citizens in a democracy. Let me give you one example: tolerance. It's like we've absolutely forgotten how to be tolerant. To be tolerant of different views, different ideas. It's like we've stopped understanding that to be a citizen in a free society means there are going to be people with different views, different lifestyles, different beliefs, different faiths, different sexual orientations, different values, different ways of living. And to be tolerant means we accept that there are differences. And I'd put in front of you today that I think the vast majority of Americans have forgotten that this is a basic responsibility of any of us who want to live in a free society. Accepting the fact that there are differences, embracing the fact that there are differences. Notice what I said. I didn't say embracing the differences. I didn't say accepting the differences. I said accepting the fact that there are differences. We live in a free society, so there are going to be people who think differently than I do. There are going to be people who live differently than I do, who pray to a different God than I do, or not pray to a God at all. And to live in a free society means we have to accept that there are these differences. We have to be, it's like one of our responsibilities as a citizen in a free country. There are going to be differences. I don't have to like them. I don't have to engage with them. I don't have to embrace them. I believe that only men should marry women and only women should marry men. That's what I believe. Living in a free society, by the way, that's not what I believe. But if that's what you believe, living in a free society means you accept the fact, the truth, that there are people in this society who believe differently, who believe men can marry men and women can marry women. In fact, it's the law of the land. But it's your responsibility to accept the fact that people think differently than I do on that issue. You don't have to agree with the person who believes that men can marry men and women can marry women. You don't have to agree with that. But you have to accept, if you want to live in America, part of your responsibility to make this thing work, to make this democracy work, to make this free society work, you have to accept the truth that there are people in America who believe there are 64 different genders. You have to accept that there are people who feel that way. It's part of your job. It's part of my job. It's part of why things are so fucked up right now in America. It's a big part of why we're so damn divided right now. We've stopped being tolerant. Forget about understanding. Forget about being respectful with people who think differently than I do. I mean, that's a basic responsibility for every free citizen in this country as well. But I'm not even there yet. I'm just at, we all got to be tolerant. We all have to accept the fact that there are differences. Not like them, not love them, but accept the fact that there are differences. Too many of us no longer do that. Too many of us living as free citizens in this country draw the line here. No, there shouldn't be people who think differently than I do. There shouldn't be people who pray to a different God than I do, who sleep with a different gender than I do. No, everybody has to be like me or the way I think and be like what I value. To think that way is to not believe in freedom, to not accept freedom, to not be tolerant. And I guess I'd posit to you today that you can't live in a free society without tolerance, without accepting the truth, accepting it, and embracing the fact that there are differences. Freedom can't exist without tolerance. A free people cannot exist without a tolerant people. We're so dangerously divided right now in America because we've ceased to be tolerant. And if we continue down this road, this free America, this democracy can't last. Think about that. I'm Joe Walsh, joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. That's my email. joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. All one word, Joe Walsh White Flag, all one word, @gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.